Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fred.
I'd like to thank you all for coming to our first Farm to Fork dinner here at the Garden. We are planning to have many more and also putting it into our ingredients and the future of the garden, going with the farm to the freshness and all that. We're also starting a Sunday brunch this coming Sunday with all going to be farm fresh ingredients, and we'll be doing early dinner Sundays from now on through the holidays and through the winter. And we're going to be bringing in more of the farm fresh ingredients. Our future plans is to actually co-op with Sassafras Farms, which is Jay Thompson, who's actually part of the Dutchman's Project. So I hope you enjoy. I'd like to introduce Geoff Johnson, our chef for the Farm to Fork table.
Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving, and this is a nice small little break between then and Christmas coming up. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Rick and Bob, for having me here with this Farm to Fork table. I'm excited about it and looking forward to doing future ones. And before anybody drinks too much, I just want to say this now. I'm working on another one in January, so we all remember. Okay? Because a friend of mine, he's on Next Food Network Star. He's one of the finalists. So I'm going to see if he wants to come in and do a demo in January. Right around the 16th-ish. I have to talk to Rick about it, but just figure out how to get that out there now while everyone's still kind of focused. But my name is Geoff Johnson. I'm a resident here in Barnegat, and excited to be here. Just quick little history on me, just so you know who I am. I've had my own restaurant. I had a successful restaurant with my brother down in Cape May for 10 years. Closed after Hurricane Sandy. I'm a food stylist for the Travel Channel and the Food Network for Andrew Zimmern and everybody else. So when I'm not doing this, I'm in New York. So whenever I get the phone call, it's always early in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning to go and travel and do make everybody else look good and make everything pretty. Also, I'm saying that a lot. The restaurants that I've worked at, Old Causeway, C'est La Vie, a few different other ones, bounced around. John Bon Jovi had offered me and I declined him. I'm trying to think what else. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. But anyway, I just hope you guys enjoy it. What I'm going to be doing here is showing you basically techniques and certain things to do, demoing the dinner for you guys as it comes out of the back. Now, also, with this dinner, we're pairing it with wine. So if you'd like to have a taste of the wine that we host here at the restaurant, for example, the first two courses are going to go with the Vito Blanc, the squash is going to go with the Pinot Grigio, the pork loin is going to go with the Tango, which is like a cab, which is really sexy and beautiful and delicious, and then the pork for dessert, which I recommend, or you can go with the Riesling. So if you want to describe some of the wines real quick, or we could do it per course.
Yeah, we do it between
Do it
the
per
courses.
course? Okay, great. That sounds good. So anyway, welcome to the garden, and this is our first, and hopefully not the last, Farm to Fork table. I try to utilize local farms and responsible, sustainable ingredients. And the first course that I'm going to start you out with is prosciutto wrapped pear that I've poached with marsala, stuffed with blue cheese over a baby arugula salad. And the second course is going to be a flatbread, which is going to be caramelized onion and apple on puff pastry. So it's going to be a little light and fluffy, buttery and sweet. It's going to be a lot of different things, but it's going to be nice, I promise you. The third course is going to be the winter squash bisque, which is butternut squash, pumpkin, sweet potato, carrot, vegetable broth, pureed up with a little bit of cream, garnished with pancetta crisp and fried sage. Now, if you're not familiar with pancetta, what pancetta is Italian cured bacon. It's the slab, they roll it, They cure it with black peppercorn and it's aged for a while. And it's so much better than regular bacon. And then for your entree, I have white cornmeal polenta, wild mushroom demi-glaze with bacon sprouts. So Brussels sprouts that I'm simply sauteing with bacon. That's it. All the goodness and maybe a little bit of butter. Because butter makes everything better. And then for dessert, is going to be my Sleepy Hollow dessert, which is a no-bake pumpkin cheesecake. I roasted pumpkins today. It's not the stuff out of a can. Now, however, you can use the stuff out of the can if you like. No one's going to be offended or anything, but I took the good time and liberty to look for these pumpkins and roasted them off, pureed them, cream cheese, and Oreo. That's what makes it the Sleepy Hollow, is the Oreo. So it's going to have an Oreo crust and then chocolate sauce all over that. So that's going to be a lot of goodness. Is everybody ready to get started? Okay. Now there's a couple rules that when I do my demo, there's a couple rules that I live by. One is you have to reuse your fork, your dinner fork. Because that's just how I've always done it when I had my restaurant and stuff. So try not to. I mean, you can get rid of it if you want. Everyone's grabbing their fork. That's funny. You don't have to reuse it. When I had my place, I was only limited on the number of forks that I had. That's why I always said you have to reuse your fork. The second thing is ask any questions, speak up anytime. It's okay. I'm okay with anyone shouting something out if you didn't hear me or if you have a question about something that I'm doing. Ask away, ask questions. Have a good time is the final rule, because that's why we're here. Everyone's seated in a communal fashion to make friends. So enjoy, have a good time, and then I'm going to get started on the first course. While I'm going to start to get that ready, Evelyn, you want to talk about the first wine?
What they did this with you here, you ordered
The first thing that I'm going to start on with the pear. It's a very, very simple dish. And if I lose anybody, please let me know. Gloves, always the number one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Our white wines that we're going to serve tonight are all pairing friendly. You're going to do a Vigneault Blanc, Pinot Grigio, and a dry Riesling. So the first one, of course, is the Vigneault Blanc. Now this is, I'm going to use warmers, I have to use these. This is a light-bodied wine. It's got high acidity in it. And it's got a fruity flavor. So it's going to pair very well with pear. Pair very well with pear. I'm a poet and I don't know it. So
That's okay. That's one of the
I hope you enjoy this. It's very crisp.
Amanda and I should be walking out of here like,
Never. 2 weeks of the outer banks, and now they're doing
All I'm simply doing is coring the pear. Quartering it, cutting it in half, cutting it in half, taking out the center core, and then I'm going to stuff it with a nice blue cheese from a farm in West Jersey, like an hour and a half away, West Jersey, but it's I forget the name of the farm, but it's a nice Stilton. So simply, with the quarters, take the blue cheese, and then I press it into the pear, because it'll stick together. Nice slice of prosciutto di Parma. Does anybody know why prosciutto di Parma is called prosciutto di Parma?
No, because it comes from Parma, Italy.
No, because the hogs are fed Parmesan cheese rinds.
No way.
Yeah. That's why it's prosciutto di Parma. and then I just simply wrap it. It gives it that salty, kind of cheesy texture, but that's what it's primarily fed is the rinds of Parmesan cheese. That's why it's called prosciutto di Parma.
Wow, that's pretty interesting that they would do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah. So we just wrap it, and once they're all wrapped, I'm not going to do all of these here, but just to give you an idea, all I simply did was press the blue cheese in, wrap it in the prosciutto. Now I'm putting it on a baking sheet or a sizzler or whatever you have handy at home. And then marsala goes right on top. This goes in the oven for about 15 minutes until it's like al dente. Like it's just firm enough, but it's not mushy, and that's it. No salt, maybe a little bit of pepper if you want to add some extra pepper. But the reason why I don't suggest salt is because of the prosciutto and the cheese, because you don't want to salt it. So once this comes out of the oven, what I'll do is take the baby arugula, just a light balsamic vinaigrette, toss it around. And then for the fancy schmancy stuff, I have a balsamic glaze here, which is an aged balsamic from Italy. It's 25 years old. And as it sits, it reduces for some reason. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not a food scientist, but it gets really thick. And then just a little bit of the glaze. And you can buy it, it's just going to cost you a pretty penny for this balsamic.
Better than doing it yourself in terms of reducing it?
You can do it yourself. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that because you can do the balsamic reduction yourself. However, the key to it is do not let it boil. It has to just barely come up to a simmer and then just slowly reduce. And then like 10 hours later, you'll have a bottle this size will turn into about that much, and it'll be thick. And this is what you'll get, that glazy syrup. I don't suggest adding sugar, regular sugar, if you're gonna sweeten it. Agave or honey.
I've used honey. I only tried it once.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
honey's one of the best things because it cuts that bitterness and the acid from the balsamic. Even when you're reducing wines to get like a syrup like this, same thing. You don't want to boil it forever. You want it to just come up and let it just sit. Even if it sits on a pilot overnight on the stove, it'll be fine because it's still gonna evaporate because there's enough heat from the pilot where you're gonna get some evaporation. But you definitely want to keep an eye on it. And always choose a good balsamic vinegar, because basically the balsamic vinegar that's on the market is crap. Because it's literally white balsamic vinegar with caramel coloring in it. So you want to find a balsamic vinegar that is reputable, that when you look at the ingredients, it isn't high fructose corn syrup or something else from canola oil or whatever, or distilled vinegar, caramel coloring. You want to avoid all of that stuff. You want a straight balsamic vinegar. And when you find a good one, you're most likely going to be paying for it. So,
Jeffrey.
yes, sir.
What type of balsamic vinegar do you suggest?
Actually, honestly, I'm a fan of Colavita.
Okay.
It is a generic one, but it's a good one to just reduce down. Does it have some of the other stuff in it? A little bit, but what's the one that, I can't remember the one that we have in the house, which is a really good one. I'm saying like commercially, like Colavita's a good one, but the one that I have at the house is, it's a small bottle, and it costs like $47 for a small bottle. And it's just regular balsamic, like it's real balsamic.
Right.
not 47,
But that's the one you suggest.
you want to go if you're gonna do it, spend a couple bucks to really treat yourself, because food is food. But with the ingredients that you're using, what you're putting into your body, with all the chemicals and all the stuff that's out there,
Right.
it takes a second to look at labels, to read labels, to see things, and if there's something that like xanthan yellow 5, not sure what that is, probably not very good for you.
Right.
You know, it's research and just trying to figure out what's best for you, and the only thing that's best for you, for your body, is the farms, organic, non-GMOs, ingredients that don't have tons of sugar in it or high fructose syrup, which is crap. You know, just kind of go and stay away from canola oil. It's another one that's a Canadian oil blend, hence canola. Canadian ola is oil. It's a Canadian oil blend. Stay away from that. Olive oil. It's the best thing. And of course butter. It's butter.
And bacon.
But
But sweet butter. Unsalted butter.
And bacon.
Unsalted butter is a little bit more. Unsalted is a little bit more money.
Bacon fat.
Has a shorter shelf life because it isn't salted. But it's a lot better. Because when you get salted butter,